I currently run 3 different companies, and all of those companies have to do marketing. And there is one particular tactic that is important across all industries. So whatever business you're running, you need to master this skill if you want to become the best marketer of your business. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Cheer Biz Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Cotton, and today we are going to be diving into another 10-minute tactic. This one is going to be a marketing tactic called building a proper hook. Now, before we get into the episode, make sure you have headed over to Cheer Gym Owners on Facebook and All-Star Cheer Coaches and Owners, and you have joined both of those groups. And if you are interested in learning directly from me or my team, you need to get signed up for one of our Cheer Biz Accelerator events. These are hosted at our facilities and are going to involve doing a deep dive in your business to help you identify the constraints, where you can grow, and give you a roadmap for the future. These are happening at our facilities, various dates throughout the year, various locations. You've got to check them out. The best way to find out what dates and what locations are coming up near you is to go to our website, nextgenowners.com. Click on the Cheer Biz Accelerator link, and you can find out more and book a call. All right, now let's get into the episode. So we are going to be talking all about marketing and hooks. Now, if you have spent any time on TikTok looking at different tactics, you probably hear a lot about hooks, and you have probably been engaged by some of our hooks and other people's hooks over the years. And a hook is exactly what you would think when we're talking about, you go fishing and you put out a hook, and that's the thing that the fish is going to bite that then hopefully holds on to them that they can't get away, and you can reel in that fish. And that's what we're trying to do with our marketing, is we are trying to grab people's attention with our hook and get them to engage for longer or convert to a paying customer. Now, what most people think of when they think about hooks is they think about clickbait. They think about the titles that make you click on it but are deceptive. And it doesn't actually have to be that. We want to make sure that our hook is actually responsible and delivers on its promise by giving them the thing that we told them they were going to get. But we know that we have a very limited amount of time to capture someone's attention. So the hook becomes very, very important. Now, there are a couple different approaches to hooks. There is a copy style hook. So what is our written word? There is a visual hook, and there is also an audio explanatory hook. And those can sometimes all be separate things that are built separate from one another. They don't always have to be the same thing. And in fact, if your hook in your copy and your hook in terms of what you say and your hook on the imagery are all exactly the same thing, that's not beneficial, because you want to create curiosity. So we want the copy to be a little bit different than what's said, to be a little bit different than what's on the screen. Now, they can relate to one another, but we don't always want them to be exactly the same. Now, you might even see this in like a thumbnail. So if you spend time looking at videos and you see those different thumbnails where you'll have the title be 3 things you need to know about running your business, and then the image is like someone pointing at something and saying, I bet you didn't know this one secret trick. So they're saying they're going to give you 3, but there's one that you don't know, right? They're trying to pull you in. And then your hook in the video might be exactly that. I've got 3 things to tell you about running your business, and I guarantee number 3 you've never heard before. And you've probably heard me use a hook like that in certain podcasts or certain YouTube videos. So we want to think about how we are crafting our hooks for our cheer gyms. It's going to vary based off of the product that you are selling at that time. So my hook for a birthday party is going to be different than my hook for someone I'm trying to get in for tumbling classes. I talked about this on the episode where we discussed our birthday party competition that we did and how we booked 17 parties in 2 weeks. I talked about my hook on the video was me going, this is Sarah and Sarah is sad. That's my hook, right? My hook is, hey, this is a kid and this kiddo's sad. Okay, why is the kid sad? They're sad because their parents booked them at a run-of-the-mill birthday party location, blah, blah, blah. And I say, here's my hook. I'm talking about this kid. They're sad. And I'm describing a pain point. So I'm going story. I'm telling a quick story. I'm giving a pain, and then I'm giving a solution. And so I've called out someone who's in what I'm talking to is parents of a kiddo, right? This is Sarah and Sarah's sad. Any parent is going to respond to there's a sad kid. And then their pain point or what happened, I'm going to tell that story. And then here is my solution, which is my product. We can hook, story, subscribe, or prescribe. And that's what we're going to do with our initial hook. Now, that's a video style hook. I also might do video style hook. You guys may have seen an ad like this. That's me talking about, it's a video of me and I'm like, gym owners, I need you to stop. And I give it that like moment. Stop taking advice from people who've never run a cheerleading gym, right? That is a hook. I'm trying to get your attention with my video and I'm telling you to stop. I also want you to stop scrolling. I want you to pay attention. You've also may have seen the CBA video that Danielle and I did where we did a little snap transition where we said, have you ever wanted to take your gym from this? And we're standing in an empty gym and we snap to this and it's a big full gym. Again, we're trying to hook you. Have you as a business owner ever wanted to take your gym from this to this? But our copy on that would not be, have you ever wanted to take your gym from this to this? Because that would be horrible. So we would want to say something like looking to grow your enrollment as a cheer gym owner? Question mark? Right? That's a potential hook. So when we're in our hook for our copy, what we want to be doing is we want to make sure, one, we tell people very quickly, hey, I'm talking to you. So attention cheer gym owners, or attention parents of active kids, or attention parents of aspiring cheerleaders, parents with kids under the age of 5. We want to let them know if they're scrolling through, I'm talking to you and I want you to pay attention to this thing. Now, ChatGPT will put in a whole bunch of emojis. I don't think you always need emojis unless they really help the hook, but we want the hook to say, who am I talking to? And ideally I'm just talking about the text hook. Who am I talking to? And what are you going to get? That is a really critical piece because especially on things like Facebook, we have very limited real estate. That hook is the goal is to get them to click the more button or click on our ad right away. But we know we only get a certain very small snippet of information to give people on a Facebook ad. So we want to be very, very strategic. We want to make sure that we say, this is our call out. This is who we're talking to in our hook and what it is that we're going to do for them. Parents looking for the perfect party. Our parties are customized and a breeze. That is not the copy I would use. I'm literally making this up on the top of my head. I'd spend a little bit more time on it. I was working on this with a client today where we dove into it and we said, attention parents of aspiring gymnasts and cheerleaders. The very first thing we said, because we knew we were going to have a room, was build unbreakable confidence. And then we added some more things, but you would have had to click more to see love of athletics and this, that, and the other thing. You would have had to click to see all the rest of that. But we're saying, attention parents of aspiring gymnasts and cheerleaders, build unbreakable confidence, because that's something that a lot of parents are looking for. They want their kids to feel more confident, to feel more proud of who they are. So you've got to really dive into that hook. If you are not spending time really thinking about the hook in your advertising, the hook in your ads, and what your imagery is showing, which I'll dive into last, then you are losing out on potential leads. Now, how does imagery impact it? Well, we want to make sure that the image that we're showing is going to attract the avatar that we want and get them to stay and stick. The goal is to get them to watch past the first 1.5 to 3 seconds as they're scrolling through Facebook. We want to grab their attention and make them pause because you're competing for the same attention that everyone else is competing for. So you are competing against the real high budget. So you need to know what are the things that your avatar is looking for. We've played with this a ton with Next Gen. You've probably seen our ads. If you're listening to the podcast, I almost guarantee you've seen our ads out there. And we know that certain things pull better than others. So we know that if we have some sort of cheer-oriented skill within the first 3 seconds, that people are more likely to watch the ad longer. Why? Because what do cheer gym owners and cheer coaches love? Cheerleading. So if we can have some sort of a cheer skill on the front end, it's going to capture people's attention for longer. Now, that may not actually be the case for you within your gym. You need to make sure that you're putting the imagery for the thing that you're wanting to market. So for a birthday party, I would want some sort of an image related to a birthday party within the first 3 seconds. Ideally, smiling kids blowing out candles on a cake with their friends all around them. That might be a really great image to have within the first 3 seconds. Or if I'm selling tumbling classes and I'm really looking to grow my recreational enrollment, then I would potentially want to have a young athlete between the ages of 5 and 7 doing a very basic skill, a forward roll or a cartwheel. I'd want a coach in the background smiling or clapping or giving them a high five when they land, or maybe spotting them through the skill. Those would be something that I would want on the front end to attract parents who've seen my copy that says aspiring gymnasts and cheerleaders. And now they're getting a hook of interested in learning how to tumble, and they're seeing an athlete of the age range I'm looking for tumbling. Now I'm hopefully hooking them for longer, and I'm going to get them to click that more button or click to my link where they can then opt in, and we go into my email marketing stuff that I talked about before. So spend time working on your hooks. All right. You guys need to make sure that you are not neglecting those hooks. Now, I have gone over 10 minutes. I broke my rule. I just looked up to see. I went a little bit too long. So this is a tactic in 13 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you're spending time working on your hooks and improving them within all of your advertising. Everything that you do, you should be looking at how can you get people to want more. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the episode. We will catch you on the next one.